Hey guys, welcome to Shadow School Studios. It's Raeven Wolff, and we're gonna go Falco Swarm. And what this is essentially gonna be Falco with like kind of Enchantress encounters. Uh, I found this after seeing a historic deck list for Arena. I think it was by MTG Goldfish. So yeah, go look up some of their videos. They're way bigger than I am. So, but yeah, and well, I guess we'll get into it. First off, we'll do the battle is Invasion of Moog, which is when it enters battlefield, put 1/1 counter on each creature you control, so pretty good for 4 mana. And then if you were to, how do I flip it here? There you go. Bloom Wielder Dryads. Ward 2 at the beginning of your inset, put 1 counter on target creature you control. So that with Falco, we're going to be trying to cast the top of our deck. I should probably have put in the creatures that let you play lands off the top of your deck. I probably should have done that. Did not do that. I'll learn that for the future. Alright, we have Kalik, Destiny's Hand. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put an enchantment from them onto your hand, and the rest in bomb your library in random order. -3, you exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. Return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So basically we're going to try and filter through our deck. Alright, so first off, we have Adrix Nev Twincasters. We're going to be trying to make copies of our enchantments, so this will hopefully help us out there. We have Altered Ego. This is to basically try and get copies of any creatures we want to make our synergies work better. We have Archon of Sun's Grace to make 2/2 Pegasi with enchantment DTB. Arceus Acolyte. Basically, this is to like get counters on all our stuff. So that Spara will have more ammo to shoot with. We have a Benevolent Hydra, which is also supposed to help with Falco. We have Boss's Chauffeur, is to hopefully make itself really big, and we can take stuff off of it. But this is also too, if it dies, we can hopefully get some creatures out to recover from. We have a Calyx Guide by Fate. This is part of the one of the combos I was telling you all about. When it or another enchantment enters battlefield, put 1 counter on target creature you control. When Calyx or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary enchantment you control. You do this only once. Chasm Skulker. So whenever you draw a card, it's going to get big, and if it dies, you can at least recover. Chrome Host Seed Shark. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Incubate X. Well, pretty much explains itself. We have Cosima, where you can always do the vehicle side, but the main idea is to just get this to go off with her. So basically every 2 turns, you're going to be cycling through her. Tika, Fractal Theorist. This is in case we do our instants and sorceries, which are ones we do use. We have Destiny Spinner. This is to stop our creatures' enchantments from being countered. We have Devoted Druid. You're gonna. Does that have to be +1/+1? Nope. So yeah, Devoted Druid. Put a -1 counter on it. Remove the -1 counter to do the cost. Idle of Blossoms is to draw cards. We have an Emil the Blessed is to basically hopefully get our flicker triggers off. Herald of the Pantheon. We have a Hydra Broodmaster. So the idea with this is basically just do 3 mana, put 1/1 counter on it, make a 1/1 Hydra, and then we're going to remove the counter so it won't be monstrous anymore. Oh no, it doesn't work like that. Alright, I'm going to have to take these out of the deck. No, we can flicker them with Emil. We have Ivoline Denizen. We have a Jukai Naturalist. Now, I did not put in the infinite combo of Ivoline Denizen. I did not do it. We have Ondu Spirit Dancer. This is to hopefully get copies of certain enchantments that we want. Sanctum Weaver. For mana, we have a Citizen Champion to draw cards and put counters on. Shipbreaker Kraken. We can flicker this, put counters on it, yada yada. We have a Solemn Simulacrum. We have a Splitting Slime. This one I'm really proud of because we can also make the others monstrous as well. Stormbound Geist with the Undying. We can hopefully value this off. Sisyphus Harvest Hand. Essentially, the cast triggers to gain life, draw a card. Trawler Drake. When we cast our non-creature spells, hopefully just take the counters off of it. We have Tuvasa the Sunlit. Basically, this is just to be a big thing with all our enchantments. She's just a big beater for 3 mana. Vitality Hunter. We're going to be moving the life link counters off stuff we don't need lifelink on. Weaver of Harmony. Other creatures, enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. It's more for the tap green copy target triggered ability. Yonic Scavenging Sentinel. In his battlefield, you exile it and put counters on stuff until it leaves. Young Wolff. Basically is the Undying trigger for Spara to just remove the counter. As a Guild Mage, the green-blue is just like, if we get our cheap creatures out, put counters on them, and it lets us draw cards. We have Echo Storm. Basically, it's to we can hopefully not storm off, but we can copy off all creatures that we want copies of. We have Absorb, which is a counter target spell. Gain 3 life. Gain 3. Annul. We have Anticognition. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 2. And because it's late game, they're probably going to have 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Instead, counter that spell. Scry 2. Assimilate Essence. Counter target creature or battle spell unless its controller pays 4. And if they do pay 4, cool. They incubate 2. No, you incubate 2. So yeah, you're going to make them pay 4 mana extra for the spell, and you get a 2/2 if they do. Cackling Counterpart, basically just to make another copy of our stuff. Counterspell. Gaia's Gift. We have Heroic Intervention to protect our stuff, same as Gaia's Gift. And Replicate and Repudiate? I think that's how it works, but yeah, this is basically counter target activated or triggered ability. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Artifacts are really just the Soul Ring, Commander Sphere, and Arcane Signet. We have an Abduction. This is essentially if we wanted to put it on one of our things that we know our opponent might get rid of our key piece, just so we can get it back. Annoyed Processions, when we make copies of our stuff, we can get more copies. Archmage Ascension. Basically, hang on. Oh yeah, this is to go off with our Enchantress abilities. I don't know why I forgot. As foretold, basically this is to hopefully get some free spells in the future. Yeah. Battle for Braided Guard. So this one can kind of go in a pseudo infinite combo with the Abzan Enchantress deck that came out for Commander Masters, because what you're going to do is we're going to make the 1/1 white, we're going to make the 1/1 green elf, and then we can choose any number of target artifact tokens or creature tokens you control with different names, and then you create other copies of them. So that is kind of where we go off. We have a Citadel Siege, but counters on stuff. We have a Court of Vantress, double. No. You choose. Yep. We can make copies of our enchantments. We have Dance of Many, which. Let me change the version of that. So switch printing. Select. So Dance Battle essentially. This is to make copies of creatures that we want copies of. We have a Doubling Season. Does it make a token? Yep. So yeah, we can get that off. We have a Doubling Season. Same as our Annoyed Procession. We have a Endless Evil. You can create your token copy of a chain creature, except it's a 1/1. So that is to kind of basically get stuff like more of our tokens that we need. We have Godric's First Duel. This is to put an enchantment on our opponent's stuff. Scry 2, and the last one doesn't really matter, but the first one really is. But it's an enchantment that we can copy. We have a Hardened Scales to put more counters on our stuff. A Mystic Remora just for the card draw. Privileged Position. If we copy this, all our stuff will have hexproof, so our opponent will have to board wipe, essentially, to get past us. The Base Song. Draw 2 cards, discard a card, shuffle any number of target cards from your graveyard to your library, add 2 mana. 3 Blind Mice. So this with Calyx goes off pretty bad, because if you create a copy of this, you go down to its second or third, and then essentially you're going to make more copies of this enchantment, to where you're going to be making all these enchantments that will also put more mice on the board. So you're going to swarm and make more copies. So 3 Blind Mice is a very, very important piece of this deck that we must protect, and we must make copies of it to do with it. With Utopia Sprawl, it's just mana ramp. Now lands, I did go kind of cheap on. I'm going to figure out how to do more of the land base in the future. But for right now, we have a Command Tower, an Evolving Wilds, Exotic Orchard. We have 10 Forest, 10 Island, 8 Plains, a Sparrow's Headquarters, and a Terramorphic Expanse. And going down to it, this is kind of the split of the colors. This is why I put 10, 10, and 8. And go ahead and I guess we'll play test it, see how it would work. But 250 card deck, or $250 deck, not card deck. But yeah, let's go ahead and play test it. We'll go ahead and restart with a fresh hand. Alright, what do we have on board? 1 land hand. Well, we're going to draw, because we're not playing 101. I know I haven't been doing that as I play test, so do that. Next turn. Alright, let's restart. That was a bad hand. Alright, here we go. Now we can still not do stuff. What we're going to do, we're going to draw for our turn. We're going to play a forest. Then we're going to go to our next turn. We're going to play a plains. Next turn, we're going to play our forest. Next turn, turn 4. Command Tower. Well, I guess we should go back and we'll discard that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So we'll play a Command Tower. And I guess what we'll do first is we'll put in I guess we'll put in a Chasm Skulker. So we'll go to our next turn. It has a counter. We'll play our plains. And for this one, we'll go ahead and do Dika. Next turn, we have another island. But I'm just going to cast Spara and leave that blue open for a null. And next turn, and we can kind of go off. I'd probably do this. Leave mana open for a null and or Heroic Intervention. And then we can start making double fractals with more counters. So we'll go ahead and restart one more time. Not a playable hand. Alright, so we'll restart. We'll mulligan. Man, this is really... There we go. Alright, we have a playable hand. So we'll turn 1. My hand, let us draw. Just go ahead. We'll turn 1. Mystic Remora. And we'll say da-da-da-da-da. Our opponents aren't going to have anything. And if they do, let's say, because we're not playing competitive, so I'm going to say we'll keep it out for 1 turn. So go to our turn. We'll tap for it. Then we'll play a forest. Next turn, we'll say 50% chance they're casting something on turn 2. So we'll draw 2 cards. Go to our turn. Graveyard. Turn 3. We're probably just going to do a Sanctum Weaver. Go ahead to our next turn. This is going to be a turn 4 play. We're immediately just going to go into I think I'm gonna do Annoyed Procession. And turn 5 is probably then gonna be, she only taps for 1, right? So what we'll do is we'll do the Shark. Because then anything we cast here is gonna make double the incubation tokens and all that. Because what? Then she'll tap for 2 on our next turn, and on my next turn, what I'd probably do, pretty easily enough, is do this, making 2 4/4 sharks. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would have 1, 2, 3 mana, and then so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that I could tap that for 3 mana, and I'd put that, making 2 more 4/4s. Do they have? Or no, 2 more things that we can transform. But yeah, and yeah, that's how that goes. So I will say these starting hands have pretty much failed, but that game would have been a lot better if that was in our hand, especially because we have pieces out and it's already synergizing pretty well. But again, this is a deck that I would like to build. I do not have a Spara. But yeah, guys, tell me what y'all think of this deck. It's a pretty cheap Enchantress deck compared to some of the others. And like I said, a lot of this is bulk. Because what? Here, we'll cancel all of this. We'll go ahead and look at some of these pricings. Let me see. Where's the Shark? I can't find it. I forgot what the Shark's name was because I'm dumb and I can't remember anything these days. There you go, Chrome. $2 a card, not bad. And like I said, a lot of it though is like less than $1, except for these. Commander Sphere is pretty cheap. That's because it's overprinted. Moog is pretty cheap. Calyx is $1. The other Calyx here is $20. He's like the bulk. Falco is cheap. But yeah, guys, this is a deck that I think anybody could pretty much build and put together, especially because like doubling season. We could switch printing if we wanted to. We could probably. I don't know. Never mind. This is the cheapest one. Wow. That is wild. I thought the what's it called? I can't think. The Balbon one would have been cheap. But yeah. So and even double season you can easily take out. Another expensive piece is the Adrix. It's $17, but that with I think Annoying Procession is still yeah, that's expensive. How much is 3 Blind Mice? Yeah. So I would say like if you needed to take out Doubling Season, Annoying Procession, and Adrix, or because like the key piece is literally 3 Blind Mice and something that will let you make a copy of 3 Blind Mice, which are in the deck. There's probably other stuff that I've missed, but like I said, guys, subscribe, give us a like down below, comment, and I'll see y'all again next time. Bye bye.